Okay, so this is Kiyose 418, and it's a battle between my Space Wolves and JP's Dark Eldar. This is a 1,850 point game of a Space Marines mission called Epitome of Honor. So there are 4 objectives here, 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 and the other one is over next to the Predator Executioner. They're each worth 3 points. And my headquarters unit, which is this Rune Priest, he's worth also 3 points additionally to slay the Warlord for JP should he kill him. And it is night fighting on a roll of 4 and up. Okay, so there's no night fighting in this scenario, and this is deployment. Okay, so Space Wolves have gone first, and the Dark Eldar have very cunningly positioned their forces just out of reach of the firepower of a lot of the Space Wolves force. But these 2 Predator Executioners opened up and eliminated 1 Ravager fortuitously, and the Rune Priest here activated his Living Lightning and just scratched to no effect that Ravager there. So it is 1 point for First Blood for the Space Wolves. End of Space Wolves turn 1. Now it's going to be Dark Eldar turn 1. Yeah, so I just... Okay, so this is the end of... Okay, so this is the end of turn 1 for Dark Eldar, and the Dark Eldar have moved up their forces very, very quickly from their back row initial deployment into this ruin here. That twin-linked Ravager unleashed its lance fire onto this Predator Executioner and stripped it off 1 hull point. So that is the end of the turn. It's going to be Space Wolves turn 2. Okay, so this is the end of Space Wolves turn 2. I rolled for my reserves, and not much came in, but what did come in, critically enough, was this group of land speeders which arrived via deep strike, and they put down a lot of fire in conjunction with this other group to take down a Ravager. And firing from these positions here destroyed 3 Venoms.
Yeah. 2 or 3 Venoms?
Yeah, 2 or 3 Venoms, routing 1 group off. And those groups here at the base of the building, they're not actually outside, they're inside. It's just very crowded on the inside. So this is the end of Space Wolves turn 2. It's going to be Dark Eldar turn 2, and he's going to roll for his Warwalkers reserves. Okay, so this is the end of Dark Eldar turn 2, which I think was very successful for them. The reserves of the Warwalkers came off onto this table edge. And generally, many of the Dark Eldar passengers disembarked to try to assault the Predator Executioners, which you can see are no longer there. 1 detonated titanically. No, not titanically, but I'm struggling for adjectives here.
Yeah,
and this one here that I'm pointing at with the turret on its side was shot at from the Bright Lances onto the side, and it was just wrecked. Okay, so that is the end of Dark Eldar turn 2. It's going to be Space Wolves turn 3. So this is the end of Space Wolves turn 3. The Space Wolves rolled in for their Stormwing formation, which came off of this edge, and fired and eliminated all of the Warwalkers. There was a tremendous amount of firing, which disappointingly enough only stripped off 1 hull point off of this Ravager. And firing from the land speeders there destroyed a Venom, which exploded. Many Dark Eldar in the vicinity were killed in a 5-inch radius.
Yeah, a lot actually.
A lot, and 1 group here of witches was broken and is fleeing, and some fire here on the Venom has stripped it down to 1 hull point. So this is the situation right now. And this group of Grey Hunters, they came off board on reserves, and they rapid fired into this group of witches. So that is the end of Space Wolves turn 3. Now it's going to be the beginning of Dark Eldar turn 3. Okay, so this is a critical moment in the battle. This is the end of Dark Eldar turn 3. End of Dark Eldar turn 3. We're going to begin Space Wolves turn 4. So an incredible amount of firepower from the Ravager in conjunction with one of these other venoms here. Oh, this other venom here destroyed the last not Lehman Russ, Predator Executioner. And there was a failed charge here that didn't result in anything much happening. Okay, so end of Dark Eldar, turn 3, beginning of Space Wolves, turn 4. So this is the end of Space Wolves turn 4, and there was quite a lot of shooting. So the Storm Raven as well as the Storm Talons are now hovering, and they had an excellent field of fire. So they put down fire into this arc, and they eliminated some of the Dark Eldar forces here, as well as having support from this fire on the side. And some more rapid firing reduced this unit here of witches, which we have to remember are going to have to make a morale check afterwards. These
Just one person actually.
yeah, this one model unit left, and these two speeders eliminated another venom. A tremendous amount of fire from the rune priest within the building using his living lightning destroyed the last Ravager, and there is one immobilized land speeder in that squadron, but they're in a very good position. And as you can see, we have a little box here, and the Dark Eldar are in this kill zone right now. So that is the end of Space Wolves turn 4. It's going to be Dark Eldar turn 4. So this is the end of Dark Eldar turn 4. We're going to begin Space Wolves turn 5. And the Dark Eldar have projected quite a lot of firepower, which destroyed one of the land speeders, and this one is reduced down to 1. There is a lot of shooting which went into these ranks. I'm going to make a morale check right after I drop this camera because one guy was killed, so there's 3 left there. That's 25% casualties in a group of 4. And yep, this is the situation as it is now. It's very, very tense because if the game were to end, JP would win 7-2 because he would have these 2 objectives that he's holding strongly, and he has Linebreaker as well. I only have Slay the Warlord as well as First Blood.
Yeah. So
Okay, so this is a combined end of Space Wolves turn 5 as well as end of Dark Eldar turn 5. So quite a lot has happened. One of the Dark Eldar warlords moved over here, used the Psychic Shriek, got 1 wound off of the Rune Priest, who did not deny. And as you can see in this situation, quite a lot of firing was exchanged between these 2 groups here. These guys will have to make a morale check, which I'm going to do right now.
if they flee, I get a point if they go off the board.
Here, on an 8. And they will break, so they will roll 1d6.
Yeah!
And they move to 2 inches off.
Oh, wow.
2 inches.
Could have been cool.
And we are going to see if the game ends on a 1 or a 2. JP, you want to roll?
Yeah, I just want to go over like what's going on here with me. So fleeing, someone here fleeing, rallied.
Those Dark Eldar there are still fleeing from early on in the game. They were fleeing from that position all the way down across the board.
At some point they rolled 12 inches. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But I actually have like 3 units here. So I've got 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 units for this objective. I've got Linebreaker. He's got 1 objective. And he's got Linebreaker. So I think he's going to...
No, I have First Blood and Slay the Warlord.
First Blood, Slay the Warlord. And
Yeah.
no Linebreaker?
No Linebreaker. Vehicles don't count for Linebreaker.
Alright, so we'll see what happens.
So let's see what happens on a roll of 1 or 2. JP, let's roll it.
Nope. Game keeps going.
Game keeps going. Okay, so it's the beginning of Space Wolves turn 6. Okay, so this is the end of turn 6, combined Space Wolves and the Dark Eldar, turn 6. And there's been quite a lot of firing. The Warlord here did a Psychic Shriek, which eliminated all of those fangs. Sorry, not fangs, the Grey Hunters that were around that objective. So they were all killed by a very, very strong Psychic Shriek that they did not deny. The air power here, as well as the land speeder, killed all of those members here as well. And these witches did a miracle charge, and they put 2 points. They took off 2 hull points off of this.
Is it 3 inches? I think
Of
they could maybe be
this?
3 inches away
Yeah.
from each other.
of that.
That's to be contested, I think. For later.
Yeah, it's contested, so it's nothing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. It's contested.
Nothing. Okay, so now let's roll to see on a 1, 2, or 3 if the game ends. One,
hope
two,
so.
1, 2, or 3.
It's ended.
So the game ends. Nobody has any objectives. Yeah, nobody has any objectives. JP has 1 point for line breaker, and what else do you have?
That's it.
Okay, and I have 1 point for Slay the Warlord, 1 point for First Blood, and 1 point for line breaker over there.
2-1 for you.
3-1.
3-1 for you.
3-1. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, so Space Wolves 3, Dark Eldar 1, and this mission was what is it? Epitome of Honor.
Yeah.
I think it was Epitome of Honor. And my Warlord, after taking that nasty Psychic Shriek wound, went back into the building. Okay, so that is 1,850 points of Epitome of Honor. Any last comments?
For me, it was like I wasn't very confident in how I was going to make this work. So it was kind of sloppy because I'm like, I'm not really going to win anyway, so whatever. But on the other hand, like I could have played some stuff and I could have came out on top. So it goes to show that really confidence really can be a mind game for yourself.
Yeah, and remember, never give up.
Never give up. That's right. Yeah, thank you, Prince.
Okay, so so that is the big battle.